Hello everyone, my new iPad Pro has arrived. Look at this. This brand new iPad Pro arrived this morning. I'm finally leaving my current iPad Pro I've used for a year and a half and switching to this one. This is Amity Sensei, by the way. Hello. I just want to introduce you to some new functions on this iPad Pro 2020 model right away. But actually, there are significant changes. What's changed is the camera. Now we have two lenses, and along with that, the technology of AR has improved a lot. With the higher production capacity, the AR app opens itself immediately whenever you want to have AR experience on the iPad. And that's where you can have simulated experience there. Also, the mouse function has been added. Now we can use both trackpads as well as a mouse. This is a new function on iPadOS 13.4, so you could use the same feature on the older version too, but I'll talk about this today as well. So I find these three functions the main changes we have. As a side note, what I got this time is a full spec edition. I bought the complete spec edition last time, but this time too with the size 11-inch, 1 TB for the capacity, Wi-Fi cellular model with Apple Care. I'm also planning to buy a Magic Keyboard, adding up to over $2,000 in total. I'm pretty sure I'll be using this a lot, so I hope it's worth the price. Today I will talk about the three functions I mentioned: camera, AR, and the mouse. I've used these three main new functions on different apps to see how they are, so that's what I want you to see in this video. Alright, let's get started. Okay, first camera. Now with two lenses, the image is in high resolution. But not only that, we can have two modes, including wide angle mode and a super wide angle mode. This is what it looks like on a super wide angle mode. You can see everything around, right? So this is the super wide angle mode, and this is the wide angle mode. It can now capture everything around the object, and that's what's impressive about these lenses. On a side note, you could zoom in a lot like this too. I wouldn't suggest zooming in too much as the object won't look good in the image, but I highly suggest making use of these two modes, wide angle mode and a super wide angle mode. This super wide angle mode will be perfect when you want to take a photo of the landscape outside, or when you want to take a photo with a group of people together. So feel free to give it a try. What I really like about this is when taking a picture of any objects from the top. It always feels like I'm too close to the object on a regular mode, but when I take one on this super wide angle mode, it captures the surroundings as well, showing around the desk in this case like this, as you can see. So when you want to take a picture from above, I highly recommend using this super wide angle mode. Regarding the image quality, it's like this. The left one was taken with the older version of the iPad 2018 model, and the right one was taken with the new one, iPad 2020 model. Can you tell the difference? I couldn't really tell the difference at all at first, but I feel like the new one is slightly tinged with blue with a stronger sharpness. So even though they may look the same at a glance, when you look closely, you might be able to spot the difference. But anyway, I didn't think there were many changes to this part. Next is about AR function. This time I'll use this AR app with a frog icon called Froggypedia to explain. With the original AR app, you usually had to scan the object with the camera and detect the surface at the same time. And this used to take a lot of time. I mean for about 10 seconds by taking a lot of time. But with the new iPad Pro, it only takes a second or 2 seconds for it to detect the surface and sets the AR object there. What I'm showing you right now is me trying to identify the surface using the Froggypedia with the previous iPad I had, the 2018 model, but you can tell that it's taking some time. The yellow part will show up to indicate it's been detected, but nothing shows up even when I tap it, or it goes back to gray again. And I used to find this a bit frustrating. So there were many times where I tried using this but ended up like, whatever, forget this, because it always kind of stressed me out. But with this problem solved, everyone, including me, will be able to enjoy AR experience more along with many other gaming apps. On a side note, this Frogpedia is a pretty interesting app where you can dissect a frog or even experience the life cycle of a frog. As you can see, you can look into the skin, blood vessels, or internal organs. It lets you see inside the frog's body after being cut with a knife as well. If you're interested, even though it's a paid app, it's pretty cheap, so feel free to download it and give it a try. It's really interesting. I recommend this for kids too. Another app I also recommend is called Monster Park, which is also an AR app. In the same way, you can scan the ground using the AR like this and touch the screen, and now Tyrannosaurus showed up. Look at this! Isn't this amazing? It looks so real. You could pinch out with your fingers like this to adjust the size as well. You could also let it come closer to you as you tap with your fingers like this. There are different types of dinosaur, and you get to see how they act differently too, which is pretty interesting to observe. By the way, if you do this outside, it becomes even more real, and you can make a video like this too. Isn't this super awesome? It reflects the video of reality and the world of AR mixed together, letting you create a unique video. Lastly, onto the mouse and trackpad. Regarding these functions, there are new functions on the new iPad Pro and are available as a new function since the iPad OS 13.4 version. So even if you don't have a new iPad Pro, you can use these functions as long as you update from the settings. Once you connect the iPad to the mouse, a small cursor like this appears on the screen. You can use this to select apps or click right. For instance, open an app, and as you move your cursor to the bottom, it shows what's called docks, where you can select a different app, or if you want to go back to the home screen, you could even go down further by holding the bottom like this. So click here to open the app, go down there to see the docks, then go down further to go back to the home screen. For instance, when you open Calendar app and create a new schedule, long tap the mouse while dragging to do that. We used to have to do this with our fingers or Apple Pencil, so you may have experienced clicking somewhere you didn't want to and stuff like that. But with the mouse, we can do this easily. Regarding how you connect the mouse to the iPad, if it's a Magic Mouse for instance, turn it on and first connect the Magic Mouse on the settings screen. Once you do that, on the left where it says General, there should be an option that says Trackpad and Mouse added here. This is an option that wouldn't appear here if your mouse isn't connected. So once it's connected, select this Trackpad and Mouse here. This will then show you the control panel for the mouse where you can control the speed of the mouse. So if you move the bar closer to the left or to the turtle, it gets a lot slower, and if you do that to the right, the mouse cursor can be moved a lot faster. Here, where it says Natural Scrolling, is all about choosing the direction for your screen to be moved upward or downward. If you want to activate the mouse right click, select secondary click below and turn on the right click. This will activate the right click, and I keep this on as well. With these settings, I created something like layout design on the app called Affinity Photo, which is an app for image composition, so I want to show you how I did it. I used the mouse for some parts and an Apple Pencil for the rest. I could get it done smoothly by using both the mouse and the Apple Pencil depending on each section, so that's what I want you to pay attention to here. First, what I'm doing right now is selecting the outline of this girl doing yoga using this thing called Selection Tool on Affinity Photo. Tracking here with the mouse automatically selects the area, so that's how you circle the girl. Tap mask to crop the girl out while removing the background, but you can see that some parts aren't cropped out well. So use the Apple Pencil and fix these by zooming in. Remove the parts that need to be fixed as you use eraser. You can change the brush size as well as the brush type too, so you can crop them out nicely. Next, I'm going to change the background color and trim the angle of view. Since Affinity Photo offers so many functions, there are toolbars on both sides, and as you can see, each tool icon is super small. I used to find it stressful to click on each item with my fingers, and the Apple Pencil wasn't that helpful either. But with the mouse, I find it so much easier to do that. It's easier to trim the image too. I don't think it's a good idea to trim using the Apple Pencil as well as fingers, so I think the mouse is a must item to have. Okay, just like this, I'm done trimming the angle of view. I'm going to type in text from here. When you do that, it's better to use a keyboard as it makes it easier for you to type in. But I haven't bought the attached keyboard of the new iPad Pro as I'm planning to buy the Magic Keyboard that will come out in May. So I don't have a smart keyboard this time. I'm just going to use the mouse and the keyboard on the screen. From now on, I'll use the mask function that's used for image composition to blend this girl, the text, and the background well together. For the mask function, you work with layers a lot. When you have to set details for layers, or when you use a layer panel and work on it, it's best to use the mouse. The mouse is definitely better when you work on detail settings like this. It will be difficult to do all this using the Apple Pencil, so yeah, I suggest using the mouse. They're starting to blend well together, but if you want to work on it further, use the Apple Pencil. Remove parts like her lips or legs to add some depth to the image. It's better to use the Apple Pencil when adding shadows as well. Handwritten letters too, use the Apple Pencil for sure. Things like this can be done using the mouse unless you type in fonts such as free fonts and find handwritten-like fonts. But if you want to have handwritten text, I think it's better to use the Apple Pencil and create your design on the iPad. I personally recommend having hand-drawn design elements somewhere when creating any designs on the iPad. Okay, just like this, it's complete. Checking the image with the layer on and off at last can be done using the mouse too, which is excellent since the icons are super small. Complex designs like this one can be done quickly on iPad, so for those who are designers and those who are thinking of studying design, please don't assume it can only be done on Mac. I'll be happy if I could give you an idea that you can do so much on the iPad instead. Going back to the topic, my review on the new iPad Pro would be that since there were many changes, it's not like I will speak highly of it, but for those who use older versions, it may be a good idea to get this one. But if you have a 2018 model, you may want to consider. The new keyboard can be used on the 2018 model too, and with the iPadOS 13.4 version, I would say it's pretty much the same in terms of its performance. The only changes are camera and AR, so if you don't really need them, I think you could stick with the 2019 model. Okay, that's all for today. What do you think? Finally, I'm going to stick this iPadmate sticker on my new iPad Pro before I end. I need this to replenish my energy. Alright, there will be more iPad stuff coming up this year too. As someone leading the world of iPad in Japan, I'm planning to keep creating more tutorial videos and do something interesting, and I really appreciate your support. If you find this video useful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Please look forward to the next video. Thank you for watching my video. Bye bye.